Introduction. Mysteries of prayer and fasting. The spirit realm does not respond to noise. It responds to weight. Prayer gives your voice access. Fasting gives it authority. There are things God hides on purpose, not from us but for us. Proverbs 25 verse 2 says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter is the glory of kings." That means certain truths aren't thrown into the open. They are veiled, waiting for those with spiritual hunger to search them out. Prayer and fasting fall into this category. They aren't just disciplines. They are divine mysteries. The thing about mysteries is this: we often don't fully understand how they work. We just know that they do. It's like planting a seed. You bury it in the soil and walk away. You don't see what's happening beneath the ground. You can't explain the chemistry of roots breaking forth or life stirring in the dark, but you know that when the principle is followed, the harvest comes. Prayer and fasting work like that. They defy logic. They're not about formulas. They're about faith. What prayer can do. In 2006, after a severe car accident in Ghana, doctors declared Sandra's survival itself a miracle. Her second cervical vertebra was fractured, yet she was neither paralyzed nor dead. Surgery in Switzerland brought no improvement. The terrible pain remained, and a second operation was scheduled. At New International Church, BL, Switzerland, the atmosphere is always saturated with fasting and prayer. As the pastor, I prayed on a casual Friday evening during our prayer meeting and, by faith, declared that Sandra would not need a second operation. Soon after, doctors confirmed that no further surgery was needed, and Sandra was healed. Many years later, on that same altar, Sandra came to me for prayer. Because there were many visitors that evening who had also come for prayer, I asked her to return the following week. The next week, there were again many visitors, but Sandra waited patiently because it was important to her that I pray with her. Around midnight, as I was about to leave, she reminded me that I had promised to pray for her. I obliged, and as I was praying for Sandra, God said something I least expected: "Open your eyes, for your wife is standing before you." When I told her after our engagement what God had spoken to me then, she was as surprised as I had been. God knew that this heavenly match was made to be a terror to the kingdom of darkness and a testimony to the glory of God, birthed through deep prayer and fasting. Today, Sandra, now also a pastor, is my greatest intercessor and a spiritual mother to many people around the world. What I share in this book is not mere theology. It comes from a deep place of personal experience and encounter. Spiritual principles aren't always logical. Paul's handkerchief healed the sick. Esther's fast reversed a royal decree. Jesus said some demons do not leave except by prayer and fasting. These things defy human reasoning, but they reveal a pattern. When the principle is obeyed, the impossible becomes possible. The duality of this mystery. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a mystery is something difficult or impossible to explain, a puzzle, a secret, or a riddle. But in the Bible, a mystery isn't something unknowable. In the New Testament, the Greek word mysterion means a hidden truth now being revealed to those with understanding or to those who seek. In Ephesians 3 verse 9, Paul speaks of the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the ages has been hidden in God. In another passage, he said, "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the ages for our glory." 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7. Notice, for our glory. There are truths reserved to transform us, but they're veiled until we seek them. In other words, these truths were never meant to stay concealed forever, but they do require pursuit. They require that we press into God to receive them. They won't be handed to you on a silver platter just because you attend Sunday services or wear your Sunday best. God is not obligated to reveal kingdom strategies to casual observers. Divine revelation is reserved for those willing to pay the price of a true seeker. It is given as a reward to those who diligently seek Him with all their hearts. Jesus said in Matthew 13 verse 11, "Because it has been given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given." Who is the you? The disciples, the students, the seekers. those who followed him beyond the crowd. He wasn't saying some people are excluded from revelation. He was saying revelation has requirements. Revelation isn't free. It costs attention, obedience, time, and intimacy. God is not hiding things to punish us. He is hiding them to protect their value. Think about it. Gold is buried. Diamonds are buried. Oil is underground. You don't find treasure on the surface. So when we say prayer and fasting are mysteries, we don't just mean they defy human explanation. We mean they are divine treasures hidden in plain sight. Only those who dig deeper in the Spirit will unlock their full power. Prayer is access. Fasting is alignment. Together, they release authority. In Matthew 6, Jesus said, "And when you pray and when you fast, not if." These aren't suggestions, they're kingdom principles. Spiritual transactions. Prayer and fasting shift atmospheres, silence principalities, and recalibrate the human soul. They are sacred strategies of heaven that shake kingdoms and unlock things that sermons alone cannot. Fasting doesn't manipulate God, it positions you. It sharpens your spiritual antennas. It breaks your agreement with the flesh. It is a sacrifice that speaks louder than words. Some chains won't break through prayer alone. Some insight won't come through comfortable devotion. Jesus made it clear in Matthew 17 verse 21, "However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." In this verse, Jesus was revealing the foundational principle of spiritual warfare. This kind of power only comes when the flesh is silenced, and heaven's mysteries are pursued with holy hunger. Matthew 11:12b, "The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force." This book is your invitation into that divine mystery. You'll learn why fasting works, how to fast effectively, what it unlocks in the unseen realm. We'll explore what doors it opens, why it triggers resistance in hell, how it positions you for divine movement, what kind of glory it brings into your life.